Even though many of our fundamental beliefs about the universe are established before the age of 8, this stage of development is neither rational nor logical. In point of fact, from the time we are born until we reach the age of 7, we have what is known as an egocentric perspective on the universe. This means that we feel that everything that occurs in our immediate environment is connected to ourselves or produced by us in some way. As of right now, we do not have a complete comprehension of the fact that other people, including our parents, are distinct creatures who have their own lives. As an illustration, if a child's parents are going through a divorce, the youngster may place the responsibility on themselves and believe that it is because they have been misbehaving, rather than comprehending that the adults are experiencing difficulties in their relationship. Similarly, if a child's mother is acting aloof toward them, the child can mistakenly conclude that she is acting this way because they are unlovable, rather than because she is experiencing stress. If, during your childhood, you were subjected to traumatic events such as abuse, abandonment, or neglect, you may have had the impression that you were in some way responsible for the situation and that you deserved to be punished for it. Furthermore, even if you only have hazy recollections of these events, they may still have a significant impact on you to this very day. Some of us did not have traumatic childhoods, but all of us will have suffered some type of upbringing wounds in which our needs were not addressed. Even if your family life was mostly joyful, no one's earlier years are fully free of confusion, disappointment, or upset. This is true even if your home life was generally happy. While it's possible that you've already resolved some of those problems, it's also possible that others are still making you feel uncomfortable without you even being aware of it. In light of this, here are some of the most important indicators of a wounded inner child. Number 7. Having strong emotions over relatively insignificant matters. If some of the wounds you sustained as a child occurred when you were too little to remember them, then how are you even able to confirm that they are still present? One method is to seek signs of the different ways in which you react to different situations, particularly if certain reactions appear to be over the top or out of proportion. For instance, if you find yourself feeling extremely irritated if a friend glances at their phone while you are having a conversation with them, this could be an indication that some of your requirements for attention were not satisfied when you were a child. That is to say, the mental, emotional, and relational problems that we encounter in our day-to-day lives can frequently be signposts of prior pains, both those that are recalled and those that are forgotten. It is possible for us to just look for indications in our psychological bruises, which may include having strong reactions to circumstances that give the impression of being unimportant. Number 6. Self-defeating behaviors. If you have missed the deadline to apply for a dream job, you are not alone. Alternatively, beginning a disagreement with a new partner for no apparent reason. There are occasions when this can be an indication that the younger part of you is terrified and nervous about the prospect of a job progression or a meaningful relationship, while the mature part of you is prepared for either of these things. The psychologist Alice Miller, who is also the author of The Drama of Being a Child, has stated that you are continuing to fear and avoid dangers that, although once real, have not been real for a long time. The behavior of your inner child that is self-destructive might have its origins in a wide variety of reasons, and it may manifest itself in the form of forgetfulness, procrastination, or loss of temper. There is a possibility that it could manifest itself as an attempt to justify why a particular relationship, job, or opportunity is not suitable for you, but in reality, you are just being motivated by fear. It is for this reason that it is essential to pay attention to self-defeating behaviors, as the reasons behind them may have their roots in infancy. Number 5. Methods of coping that are not healthy. Anything that we do to handle challenging or painful feelings is considered a coping technique. Sometimes persons who have experienced trauma as children will adopt unhealthy coping mechanisms, such as engaging in substance abuse, consuming alcohol, or distancing themselves from reality through excessive use of social media and gaming. As another method of evading their emotions, they could also engage in a never-ending tornado of activity to keep themselves occupied. According to Miller, not even a single moment of silence can be allowed to pass during which the smoldering loneliness of the childhood experience can be felt. This is because your parents may not have modeled for you healthy ways of responding to difficult events, such as processing emotions and using self-soothing techniques. For this reason, learning how to safely sit with your feelings may be incredibly healing. Some of the ways that you can learn to do this include practicing mindfulness, engaging in breathwork, and going to therapy. Book titles such as Breaking Negative Thinking Patterns, A Schema Therapy, are also recommended. You will be able to recognize your coping methods, comprehend how they are connected to your upbringing, and break any habits that may be preventing you from moving forward with your life with the assistance of the self-help and support book. Number 4. Being in a relationship with your family that is challenging. The presence of familial difficulties, feelings of rejection or criticism, feelings of being an outcast, or a significant emotional dependency between you and a parent are all examples of this. Without regard to the nature of the problem, any form of difficult family relationships could be an indication of long-standing, unresolved childhood issues as well as unfulfilled desires. How your parents or siblings make you feel in the present moment may be a reflection of how you felt when you were younger. This is because your inner child is still reacting in precisely the same way when you are in their presence. It is important to pay attention to this if you are experiencing feelings of being neglected, scapegoated, or emotionally abandoned by your family. Your younger self may be attempting to convey something to you. Number 3. Self-criticism and a lack of confidence in oneself. If you have an inner critic who is constantly finding fault with you and invalidating your emotions, this could be a result of having grown-ups around you when you were a youngster who was extremely critical or demanding of you. What took place is that your younger self internalized this critical adult voice, which resulted in it becoming a part of your views and worldview when you were an adult. Nevertheless, it is essential to keep in mind that the thoughts expressed by the inner critic are not always accurate. It is much more likely that these opinions are outdated pieces of programming that you may learn to let go of, which will ultimately liberate both you and your inner child. Number 2. Problems on the home front. If you discover that you are constantly chasing people who are unavailable, or if you find that you are in a pattern of relationships that are toxic, unhappy, or abusive, then your inner child may be significantly damaged in their capacity to connect with others healthily. Indeed, if you want to have a better understanding of how diverse experiences you had as a child can influence the way you develop relationships as an adult, you might find it helpful to read our essay on attachment theory. Number 1. Problems with emotional, mental, and physical health. It is common for individuals who have inner children who have been hurt to have feelings of emptiness, helplessness, and hopelessness that are persistent and chronic. There is a possibility that they have the perception that they are living as a false self and that their existence is devoid of any sense of spontaneity or aliveness. You may also experience a profound sense of disconnection from other people. It is also possible for children to experience mental health problems such as anxiety, depression, addiction, eating disorders, and chronic post-traumatic stress disorder, CPTSD. In addition, physical illnesses such as migraines, chronic fatigue syndrome, and fibromyalgia have been related to childhood trauma. Additionally, any of these may be indications that your inner child is attempting to convey to you something that is of utmost importance. So this is the end of our today's video. Do you like it? Kindly give your valuable response in our comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting and informative videos.
Even though we're new to the scene, every 1% increase in subscribers means the world to us. If you found value in our content, would you kindly consider becoming one of our very first subscribers? Your support from the outset will set the stage for our growth, allowing us to produce more valuable videos for personal growth and development.